Hi, it's Simone Novello from PartnerUp, and today it's my absolute pleasure to introduce Jeff Yang, who is a LinkedIn expert, and you've become a LinkedIn expert through all the wonderful things you've done for eWeb marketing, right?
That's right, yes. Well, it's actually funny because people do call me a bit of a social media expert, but for the most part, I actually don't like social media. And the
damaging confession.
Yes. Yeah. And
you're very good at the social part.
Well, that's I guess part of it. And I guess the birth of social media lead generation came from I guess because I didn't like social media. For the most part, you know, I saw all of my friends taking pictures of food and their babies, and you know, for the most part, people will agree with me that you do tend to spend a lot of time on social media. It's a bit of a time suck.
Yep.
And there's just too much going on, too much clutter going on. So I saw it as a bit of a waste of time, to be honest. And I still do to a certain extent. I guess how I got into using social media to generate leads and generate sales and create strategic partnerships was at eWeb. We decided to shift and change and target a different audience, a much larger market. eWeb in the early stages were pitched to small business,
right?
But we all know that technology is moving at such a quick rate, and with the introduction of social media and things like mobile devices, businesses now need to become a lot more holistic with their marketing.
Yep.
So, you know, when we rolled out a more holistic marketing plan, we need to target a much bigger audience, more enterprise clients. And we decided to target businesses that had $1 million plus budgets to spend on an annual basis. And
it's a good target.
Yes, it certainly was.
So you didn't want a business with no money.
No, exactly. But the problem was that eWeb didn't have any presence in that marketplace. So, like any sort of salesperson, I conventionally used cold calling, cold emails. We spent a lot of money on expos, sponsorships, networking events, and they pretty much amounted to nothing. Yeah, I like to liken it to a bit of a donut, you know, zero.
No score.
No score, no goal. So it was at that point that, you know, I put the ego aside and said, you know, I've got to find another way, that a system or a tool that will get me in front of the right audience. And you know, considering I hadn't brought in any sales or partnerships in 12 months, it's not like I could go to the directors of the business and say, hey, give me more money for more marketing. And yeah, I was introduced to LinkedIn, and my mentor at the time showed me how he generated leads using LinkedIn groups. And from those sort of methodologies, I've now been able to create a system that I use and that other people can use on LinkedIn to not only generate leads, but generate strategic partnerships. To help grow and scale your business. I now generate around about $1 million a quarter to eWeb purely from my lead generation efforts on LinkedIn.
Wow.
And a lot of that comes from the strategic partnerships that I formed using this wonderful tool as well.
Fantastic. So I think, you know, that's again where a lot of people think about using LinkedIn to target their end user. But I think as you've highlighted, as we always say, you know, you can go out and find 1,000 new customers, or you can find one marketing partner or strategic alliance
100%.
partner that has all those customers that you want en masse. And I think that's where you're coming from in terms of how you've used LinkedIn to create those types of partnerships.
Yes.
So can you talk about maybe a specific case study where you, and maybe how you did it? Give me an example of how you've used LinkedIn to engage with and target a strategic partner.
Sure. Well, I guess using eWeb as a perfect case study. You know, when we worked with Optus, how we got that particular client was when I was generating leads and finding partnership opportunities on LinkedIn. I ended up forming a partnership with the creative agency that was looking after the marketing for Optus. Optus have very stringent rules with regards to who they do business with and who they partner up with. It's quite a long, involved process. So me trying to become a partner of Optus directly would have just been too much red tape and too difficult. So sort of I went through a side angle, managed to find out who the creative agency was that was managing Optus marketing account, created a partnership with them and got the lead in. And we ended up doing a 180 film project with Optus, and then they ended up introducing us to BlackBerry. And we ended up doing business with BlackBerry as well. So the beauty about strategic partnership isn't just about the initial business that you might acquire, or the fact that you can get introduced to a new realm of clients. It's the other partnerships that you can create from that one partnership as well. You know, if we didn't work with Optus, we never would have been introduced to BlackBerry.
Right. Look, and I think that's that you're really showing the power of it now, and you're showing how exciting it can be.
Yes.
When you look at LinkedIn in a whole different light, really, and you stop looking at it as just any form. It's quite a powerful social media tool, isn't it?
Yes,
because
it is. Yep.
you not only locate appropriate people to connect with, you can shorten your sales cycle. Can't
Yes,
you?
definitely.
I think that's exactly what you did with Optus's agency.
Yes.
And cut through a lot of the bureaucracy and red tape. But then you can also research, because I think that's another thing we talk about, is it's really important to research your strategic alliance partners' prospects before you go and see them. So what sort of information can you find out on LinkedIn about people, and how can you use that to your advantage?
Yeah, LinkedIn is a great source of research, and the reason why I love to use it for research is because the information is more relevant. It is a business tool at the end of the day, so you don't have photos of your dogs and your cats and what that person ate for breakfast, in their profile. The information that you do have on there are things like their professional experience, their background, what skills they're proficient in, what are their areas of expertise, what other roles did they have in the past, what are the companies did they work with in the past, and who they're connected to as well. That's another big thing.
Yeah.
And the other areas that you can do a lot of great research on LinkedIn is company profiles. So you not only have the individual's profile that you can do find a bit of background on, but they will be also connected to a company profile, which you can also do some more background research on the actual company itself.
Fantastic.
As well as individuals.
So you can see
double whammy.
So with the creative agency that you went to for Optus, you would have been able to find out what other clients they had.
They had as well, 100%. Yes, yeah. What are the groups? What are the interest groups they belong to? So it's just a plethora of wonderful, wonderful information. And like I said, the reason why I love LinkedIn is because it strips all of that other shiny, non-relevant, information out of it, and what you're left with is purely professional, B2B rich information that you can use in a sales presentation or strategic partner engagement.
Great. And strategic alliances is really a B2B game. It's about, doesn't matter if you're in a business to consumer business. When you're looking for a strategic alliance partner, you're looking for another business that you can partner up with.
100%.
So Jeff, what are your top tips to partner up successfully using LinkedIn?
First tip is to have an objective, and that's not just for LinkedIn, it's for social media in general. Most people have a LinkedIn profile and it just flounders there like a dead fish or half dead fish. So it's to have an objective, whether you're using it to find strategic partners, whether you're using it to generate leads, whether you're using it to grow your personal brand and be known as an expert in the industry. It's to first have an objective. That's the number one rule. The second thing that I would recommend that you do is look to add value first in a relationship. So where I find a lot of people falling down on LinkedIn and social media is they just want to get in there. They just want to promote themselves. They just want to sell and promote. And you come across quite spammy. You come across quite biased, and you certainly don't come across as an expert or guru in your industry.
It's a bit desperate, isn't it? It's kind of like you're trying to go for third base on the
first date. Exactly. Yes.
Wrong. Yes. Don't do it. This is what happens.
So look to educate, look to add value, and post content on there that is educational, and post content on there that you love, that you personally have read or understood. And if you find value in content, then your audience will find value in the content as well.
Great.
I find a lot of people, I just go through the motions. They don't put their heart and spirit into it. So they'll just find any old piece of content and slap it up there. But what they don't realize is that content gets related to your brand. So if you post crap, then you can guess what happens to your personal brand. But if you post gold, then
you can still. I think part of engaging using LinkedIn is still, being authentic and letting a bit of the real you shine through. You're probably not letting your hair down as much as you might on other social media platforms. But I think on LinkedIn, you still want to be able to engage with people on an authentic level.
100%. Yes. And the third secret is you must move the relationship outside of LinkedIn. This is the key, and this is the real essence. And this is where I find that where the real benefit of social media is. Because you can't, when it comes to a B2B environment, you can't do business until you move that you move that relationship into an offline environment. You know, face to face obviously is what I use it for, and that is the key. You know, using LinkedIn as a tool to generate face to face or enhance face to face relationships.
So you're using LinkedIn to get offline.
100%. Yeah, that's the whole point of it. Yes.
Fantastic. Well, I think that's a lot of gold in there, and I think some of the basics you've covered as well about, you know, profile pic.
Yes.
And your intro, I think you cover off some fantastic things in your system.
100%,
so
yes, yeah.
You'll be hearing a lot more about Jeff, and you'll be thoroughly entertained every step of the way. So thanks for joining us, Jeff, and
You're welcome, Simone.
looking forward to
Thanks,
partnering
guys.
up.
See you soon.
See ya.
Bye.